A $50 mechanical keyboard. It's simple, affordable. What can go wrong? I'm Real Gion and welcome to the channel. It's very office friendly because the font doesn't look too gamery, if that's even a word. I know it's due to the nature of the double shot ABS caps, but this one doesn't look that bad at all. The layout is standard, so if you want to replace the keycaps, you have a wide range of options, but it's the matter of the keycaps costing either as much or maybe more than the keyboard itself. So if you're cool with all that, then by all means. It's not a floating key design, so it might be harder to clean the keyboard if you plan on keeping your keyboard for a very long time. And to be honest, I kinda miss this look, because most keyboards nowadays are going for the floating key design due to Corsair. I believe it means that all keyboards essentially look the same, and it somewhat makes them a little more boring. Even though I miss this design, I would not recommend this in the long run because it's difficult to clean the keyboard later on. There are media controls, but they are bound to the F key, so some of you may not even use the media keys, and for those of you that don't, you don't care, but for the ones that do, this could actually be a deal breaker. The size of the keyboard is pretty decent. It doesn't have so many of those extra spaces, but I would not say that this is a compact keyboard either. So the best way to put this is that it's somewhat a mid-size keyboard. If you have a normal size desk space, this keyboard should fit right in. So in the beginning, when I saw this keyboard on the website, I saw Kale. I even went back to the website to double check. When I actually did the opening, it turns out to be Otemu Brown, which isn't bad, but it's not what I expected. Then again, if you put a blindfold on me and give me a Cherry MX, Kale, and Otemu Brown, I'm gonna be honest, I probably cannot tell the difference. It's much harder with brown and red switches than blue, especially red. With blue switches, I can at least tell the difference by the sound, but with brown, I believe the only way is the feel, because I remember the Kale Browns being much stiffer than the other two, and maybe it's just me, maybe it's just a bad batch, but that's what I feel like when I was reviewing the Alienware keyboard. Anyways, rambling aside, the light is on top of the switch, so in terms of longevity, it might not be as long as you would hope for, but this is just me speculating. In terms of the Otemu switches, they are rated at the same as the Cherry MX variant and most likely last longer than you do unless you do something different with your keyboard. I'm really glad this one has the Cherry MX stabilizers because it makes the keyboard so much easier to clean. I hate the CoStar stabilizer because I just don't like to deal with those freaking wires and the plastic pieces, where if you don't put them in the correct ends, you're gonna have to take them out and put them back in. But here's the thing, I get it. I get why people like CoStar more than Cherry MX stabilizers because it feels better. Those longer keycaps definitely feel better, but to me personally, by no means is that extra bit of crispiness worth the level of annoyance that it takes when cleaning out the longer keycaps. But here's the thing, guys, it only applies if you take out the longer keycaps. If you don't really need to care about this topic at all. Like I mentioned earlier, this keyboard has ABS double shot keycaps, which are typically better than the thin ABS caps that comes in keyboards that are often 2, 3, sometimes even 4 times the cost of this keyboard. This is really why I complain. I don't complain for nothing, I complain because I care for us, the consumers. It sucks knowing that you get inferior keycaps when you pay more money. Anyways, I don't think they're going to change, because here's the thing, it's just one guy complaining, and it's one guy complaining that has very little subscribers, that has very little views, that sometimes no one really cares for. So here's the thing, when I still make videos, I still am going to complain. and hopefully I can make a difference. I want to make a difference. I don't think it's anytime soon though. There are cable management slots, which is awesome, but the cable, it's stupidly designed. They should have made it towards the beginning of the slot instead of sealing the cable towards the end of the keyboard. This makes it really hard to put the cable in the slot, and in some cases, I think you would have to damage the cable to actually put them in the slot. Overall, really disappointed on how the cable is being designed. The flip-up feet does not have rubber on them, so it will slide if you raise the keyboard at that angle. This isn't a big deal for me because I don't raise my keyboard, but it might be for you, so keep that in mind. At least the cable is braided and the USB tip is gold, so they have that going for them, which is nice. I like typing on this keyboard. I can't type for a very long time. It's strange, but if I type this thing for a very long time, my fingers get really hot when I type on the keyboard. I don't know why, and this hasn't happened on any other keyboard. Besides this, the typing experience is good, the travel is smooth. I do feel like I'm flying when I type. The switch feels light and I can type for a long time without finger fatigue, but the fingers get hot, which is really weird. And I believe maybe it has to do something with the light being on top of the switch. Anyways, here's what the keyboard sounds like. For $50, I do recommend this keyboard because it's mechanical, it's simple with just a blue LED, which happens to be my favorite color. It might not be yours, so keep that in mind. It does the job really well, both gaming and typing, because it's a brown switch, to be honest. You can do a lot worse for $50, but the kicker is you can actually do better for $50 because there are mechanical keyboards that are in this price range with RGB. If you don't care for RGB, I would recommend this keyboard. If you are considering buying something like the Corsair K55 or any other big name membrane keyboard, I should say try this one first and then see if RGB is worth sacrificing mechanical switches. If RGB really matters to you, skip this one. But if you want something on the budget side that's both good for gaming and typing, this is the one to go with. If you're planning to buy this keyboard and you want to help my channel at the same time, I'm going to leave a link down below for you to buy the keyboard. If you made it this far into the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, click on the subscribe button down below. Hit that bell to become part of the mighty notification squad. And as always, you guys stay awesome.